Well, hi again, everybody. Let's talk some football on Coach's Corner as District 12 5A play continues for the Red Raiders. Their first district road game is coming up on Friday night at Mesquite Memorial Stadium against the Stallions of North Mesquite. The Red Raiders need to get a win before they head into their open week, and Coach Darrell Piske is with us this past week, the opening game of district play against a pretty good Horn football team, 49-24.
We knew that going in, and, as coaches, you spend your whole weekend, the weekend before, analyzing, looking, and figuring out ways to where you can, have a chance to win the football game. And then, even though it's, could be a David and Goliath situation, you find a way to convince yourself that you got a chance to win the football game because, Cinderella's win all the time. And so, that's what makes those kind of games really disappointing is when you go through and you convince yourself that you got a chance to win the football game because they're good. I mean, they really are. Defensively, we knew their front seven was strong as oxes on film and going to be hard to run the ball against. And secondary's very good secondary. Offensively, got a great scheme. Coach Webb and those guys, what they do with the personnel they have. We knew it'd be a big challenge, but you go through and you convince yourself and find a way to make yourself believe you can win the football game. And then when you get out there and you get your lungs kicked in, it's pretty disappointing. And so, reality sets in pretty early sometimes. And so I thought the kids, once we got into the second half, played better and kind of figured out where we are and what we are. Defensively, we didn't play as well as we had the last 4 ball games, so we'll have to get that back under wraps.
What didn't you do specifically that you had to do to win Friday night?
Well, number one, outscore them, but we're not an explosive score a bunch of points team. We're going to score 20s and 30s. Defensively with the scheme they had, we had to change some of the stuff that we read defensively. And, I thought we had it down during the week. It's just so hard to assimilate it during the week with your scout teams and stuff because they're not near as good at doing it as Mesquite Horn is. And so, our kids, really didn't focus in on their keys. They let that fly motion or jet motion confuse them on their read when if they'd have read the one thing we had them reading, it had taken them to the ball, 99.9% of the time. So we'll have to, get better at that. I think our guys had gotten better the previous 4 weeks at looking at a certain read in a certain situation. And so, we'll have to just stay a lot simpler. I feel like we have it as simple as we can get it, but sometimes you got to make it simpler, where kids are comfortable with what they do.
Let's analyze, first of all, the offense. How did they play?
Well, we didn't turn the ball over, which was amazing. I didn't realize till Saturday that neither one of us turned the ball over when we're going through our goals and looking at our goal boards and stuff. Offensive line, we'll have to continue to improve, offensive line-wise, getting our hands on, getting the body on the body, cutting off backside pressure and things like that. Throwing and catching overall, it was about where we've been. Of course, Marquiston got hurt during the football game, and so we'll have to fix some things there. But
how is he, by the way?
Well, he, looking at broke his radius, I believe, and going to have some surgery. We'll just have to see.
Arm, leg?
Arm,
okay.
Yeah, when he got tackled, I guess he landed on it. Really, I thought it was his knee when it happened and got twisted around, but come to find out he landed on it wrong and did that. So, he came up Saturday morning, which was pretty amazing after, you break your arm and spend a lot of time in the hospital that night. And then show up to watch film on Saturday morning was pretty good. And it was semi-normal when he got there. I figured all the pain medicine, we were giving him a hard time. But, he's a kid that's been getting better and can do some things with the football. I thought our backs were patient. The front seven's hard to run against, and they had to work for every yard they got. And so they stayed downhill and ran hard. And, of course, Terrence came in, got some good carries, get his feet wet and do that. Thought he showed a lot of promise.
And defensively?
Defensively, we, like I say, I think we got confused at times. We didn't fill holes where we needed to fill on, I thought the nose guards played pretty good, and defensive ends didn't play bad at times, and then linebackers, didn't feel as good as they had been feeling, and I don't, through the weekend of trying to figure it all out of why, but secondary-wise, I thought, they did a decent job covering. I think we didn't spin one time correctly, which that's going to happen every now and then. But, overall, they're just better than us. And, you got to come to that reality. We talked about before the game, there's a dance coming up in about 6 weeks, and we want to be invited to the dance. To do that, I feel like you get 3 tickets. You got a chance to get in that dance. You get 4 tickets. You get it invited to the dance. And so, you know, we wanted that ticket, but, you know, in reality, we had to get the kids to understand that's not a ticket we have to have, you know, because Mesquite Horn, I feel like, is one of the best teams in the district. So you got to make sure you win the games you're supposed to win, and then maybe upset one to get your 4th ticket. But we'll just move on this week, and we understand this is kind of like the Texas High week. We got to win the football game, and we're going to work all week to prepare to do so.
On a positive note, your guys did. I mean, the game was, you know, was basically not winnable at that point, but your guys did score 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, which proves that they were at least engaged, I guess, for the whole ball game, even though they had no hope of winning.
Yeah, really, and that's what we talked about at halftime. You know, it's a situation like this where they see what kind of character you got, and you see what kind of heart you got, and all the talking and all that doesn't do any good. You got to go out on the field and show that you've got some heart and you got some character. So that is the positive part of it, is the kids came out and they just continued to battle till the end of the football game, and they shook hands and went home, watched film on Saturday morning, try to figure out where we got to improve, and just move on from there.
Now, Marquista, is he out for the year? What do you think his prognosis?
I would think he's, you know, he's
okay.
Probably, you know, we lost a couple last week, kind of the same situation. So, yeah, you know, I would think he's probably going to have it fixed and get it right. He's just a junior, so we wouldn't want to do anything. A lot of times, if I'm a senior kid, I may try to wrap it up and try to go, knowing that's my last go around probably, but you know, in his situation, he'll need to get it fixed if the doctors tell him it needs to, and go on from there.
All right, and then so that means you need a wide receiver. Does that mean Jordan Richardson now goes back to that position?
Yeah, we've got several, but yeah, we're going to move Jordan. We talked to Jordan this weekend, moving Jordan back to the receiver position. Riley's done a good job. Our spread stuff just wasn't gelling enough. You know, I thought it got better last week, but, you know, we knew with them being probably one of the district favorites that we could still give it a look that week and see how it works against the best. And you know, and it's just not going to where we wanted it to go. And then, of course, with the injury to Mark Easton, we'll have to move Jordan back over there. And he's good with him. He likes receiver better than quarterback anyways.
Right. He's a difference maker, a potential difference maker.
Yeah, he's got, you know, he's got a lot of skills. I mean, he understands that. That's why, you know, we've had him at quarterback, you know, trying to work him in at quarterback some, because he's got skills and can do something with the football. So that'll help us there. And, of course, got Bryce Wilkerson, and, you know, he's mixing in out there at that Z, so those two will get a lot of looks there.
You said after the game that you sensed a certain selfishness that you've got to get corrected. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, you know, it happens. Humans are naturally selfish, but what I addressed the team about after the game is, you know, I can't be worried about, you know, how many times I get the football thrown to me, or how many times I get to throw or play this position or do whatever. I got to think from a team standpoint of what I got to do to help the football team win games, and so, you know, it's the same way coaching-wise. When we're in there deliberating on personnel, offense, defense, trying to get guys in the right position, you got to do what's best for the team, even though I may want this. And so, you know, and the kids, you know, we address it as a team and do that kind of stuff. Any issue we have, we always talk about, you know, in a team setting. You know, if it's a personal issue, something a kid's doing, then, you know, we call them in one-on-one and visit with them, you know, in personal issues. But as a team, we know that that's happened. It's been that way. A lot of times, we talked about Saturday, that happens a lot of times when you've been struggling, is now I just worry about myself and doing that kind of thing. Yeah. And the guys, you know, they understand, and so like I told them, it's our job to fix it. We got to know if it's in the locker room. Y'all got to know what's going on. We got to just stay on the same page, because we're all out there. Kids are busting their tail, doing the best they can, trying to win football games, and you know, that's just our goal, and we all want to do that, and that's the deal. We had to make them understand Saturday is, even though we wanted that ticket, we didn't have to have that ticket. You know, now the tickets get more precious, because if you blow any more opportunities, you run out of your chance to get you 3 tickets, possibly 4 tickets to get to the dance.
And when you talk about stuff like that, I mean, is that something coaches can correct, or do the players have to do that themselves?
Really, the players got to do a lot of that policing. You know, we call kids in. You know, I call kids in. I don't really call kids out individually. You know, they know that. I've never. You know, I don't think I've ever ripped a kid in practice individually. You know, I might get on him, but I'll call him to the side and talk to him, or call him in my office and talk to him, things like that. But, you know, as a team, I can address it to them, but they know what's going on in the locker room. They hear each other talking. They know what's happening. So, you know, most time you seniors have a better feel on what's going on. That's what I try to approach it with the team from is, you know, if there's something going on in the locker room, attitude, selfishness, kids not doing what they need to be doing, making good choices outside of the arena of football, then, you know, they need to let me know and we need to address it and get it fixed, because that's the kind of stuff, you know, that can really pull a team apart, when in essence what these guys have shown me and hopefully is happening is they're pulling together, and if they'll pull together, then we still got a chance to do all our goals.
Coach, are you saying then as you move forward this season that you think your team will be focused more on being a running football team now?
Yeah, you got to have play action. You got to be able to throw it off the edges. You got to be able to stretch them vertical, but you got to have play action. I mean, you look at the halfback pass that you know, that we threw with LaQuintus. I mean, Marquiston's wide open, and he's going to be. I mean, anytime we do that, they can work on it all they want, but when you face a running back as good as LaQuintus and the running game, you're going to play action is going to hurt you. So we got to continue to improve at play action. We showed some signs the other night, but we got to continue to get better at that.
Well, the Texas High game, first play of the game was a beautiful play action pass, and Wilkerson was just wide open. That was 2 weeks ago, but couldn't do it any better than that, could you?
That's right. That's right. And so, you know, the other night we had some play action, and some of it worked out, and some of it we just didn't execute. But that's just part of, you know, number one, they're pretty good, so your execution doesn't look near as good when they're a lot bigger, faster, and stronger than you are, and things of that nature. So, you know, we'll just continue to improve on that. But I think it'll help us now. We really know where we are and what we're going to do, and offensively, and then, of course, defensively, we'll have to continue to just work on the little things that we've got to fix to get better. All
right, North Mesquite is coming up next. That's a road game. 49-24 the score. Mesquite Horn at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium on Friday night in the district opener. The Horn Jags won that football game. Coach Piske brings along game video of some of Robert Ely's highlights in that game, and there were numerous highlights in the ball game. Here you are in the red uniforms, in the dark.
Yeah, I think that's probably nose guard, Tristan Taylor, Antron Henry, right there. Like I say, the defensive front guys didn't do a bad job, especially the nose guards played really well. That's LaQuintus, you know, did a good job of, number one, the O-line did a good job blocking and clearing the hole, and then he did a good job of doing something with it once he got it.
But you didn't get any points out of that, though.
Yeah, that's where we got the field goal blocked, and you know, that's the things we work more on special teams than probably most teams in America, and so that's the reason why we do it. Again, that's just the front line making a good pile. You know, coaches had some good schemes, you know, things to do to them with all that motion and the sniffer back and all that, and Coach Webb and them did a great job. You know, it wouldn't take him long to figure out what we were doing with it and adjust to it, so it was kind of cat and mouse all night.
Here you're running spread here, right? Trying to work out of the spread, right?
Yep. You know, Jordan did a good job there of reading it, and once he read it and the receiver got a little block out there, he picked up some positive yards. So he's getting where he's running like he did in the spring, so that's a good thing.
That's just second effort there.
That's just backs running hard. LaQuintus going downhill. If he'll continue to do that, then we'll continue to get better.
Young man's come a long way since this time a year ago, hasn't he?
Yeah, here's his halfback pass. You know, got a little pressure where we shouldn't have. Marquiston, you know, did a good job catching the football. He'd come over and said, "Coach, I wanted to score, but I want to make sure I caught it." And I said, "Well, typically that's the first step in the process, is making sure you catch it." But yeah, he did a good job of selling his block on that. And then here's Marcus White doing a good job of filling. You know, of course, that's a good hole to run through, so that means O-line. That's the thing. We had spurts of good things. We just got to get more consistent.
And he's back on offense now, pretty much solid now,
yeah,
right,
that's
Marcus?
right. That's right. And he's done a good job. He runs the ball well and does a good job blocking. You know, guys did good here stretching it sideline to sideline, not getting in vertical seam there.
I was impressed with their quarterback, too. He did a good job.
He's good. When you got one back there can run it and throw it, it really puts the defense in a bind. And, of course, his O-line's huge, and I believe that's a blast play there with Jordan. You also notice that the backs are good. Our backs really have impressed me the way they block. Our tailbacks, fullbacks always are good blockers, but you know, your tailbacks to be willing to do that, and you know, that's the stuff we got to do there. Just throw it quick off the edge. That was Jay Robertson out there.
When'd you move Jay over to offense?
Well, he's kind of had to work both sides. We kind of got stretched there with receivers, with DeAndre's ankle's been bothering him and stuff like that, and so we had to kind of, Jay knows the sets and knows the plays, and so we had to use him some to get in there and help us in the mix of making sure we had enough guys to do. I believe that's Bora there.
Well, he's come a long way.
He's doing a good job, and tough kid, and gets after it, and it's hard on these Friday nights when it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, and it's good to see the tears in their eyes. It means something. That's Terrence Simmons there breaking in and
I thought he was going to score.
Yeah, I believe he wanted to, but that's a good job. A lot of times we run that counter, those backs want to bounce it outside, and it's designed to hit up in there, and he did a good job going downhill up in there. They're huge up front. They do a good job. Their sniffer back 40. He's not just a real physical kid, but he did a good job of getting his tail up in the hole and blocking, and they ran hard.
And for those of you who think that teams just run spread, basically they're running option offense out of the shotgun.
Yeah,
here,
that's right. That's right. I mean, that's what you do. You get a lot of misdirection. Let's call that the sniffer there, that little guy 40 that's up under there. But they can play action, they can throw it, they can give you a lot of misdirection. That's what a lot of guys are. John Tyler kind of does the same thing with their spread. They got a lot of fly motion or jet motion, and causes havoc on your reads and stuff like that.
Now this was a long drive too in the fourth quarter, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a couple of those. Of course, it helped LaTerrence. I think broke a 23-yarder and a 40-something yarder. So those help. When you track your big plays. Bryce does a good job. Riley does a good job getting it to him, and he getting open field. He's hard to tackle.
Well, we talked about earlier, you're down in the game, but your guys are still running their stuff and trying to get a few things done. This was a very long touchdown drive, as I recall.
Yeah, that's nice Desmond Dunn right there. I mean, that kid, I tell you what, got a lot of heart, and he tried to attack that defender and got tattooed a little bit, but he popped right up, and that's Terrence again.
Oh. Almost.
Yeah, and he deserved getting in some.
Yeah, so you let him have it here, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I told Coach Robinson. I said, give him the ball and let him get him a touchdown. He's running his tail off.
Yeah, there you go. So what's his role going forward now? He's a senior too, and that gives you another dimension back there, doesn't it?
Yeah, really. I was messing with him Friday night and Saturday about thunder and lightning, and then of course you got Marcus mixed in there and Dunn mixed in there. But that'll give us something. LaQuintus is going to have to earn every yard he's got. And so, he's going to need times when he's not in the football game, and that'll give us, LaTerrence has shown his explosiveness and speed back there, so that'll give us that other element where, when he's out of the game, they don't just know, hey, they're going to hand it to Marcus now. I mean, you still got two of them back there that can go.
This team, as I recall, last year could run the football, but the defense struggled. If you can run the ball and the defense can step up and do what they were, not what they did Friday night, but do what they've done the previous 3 weeks, that gives you a chance to win.
Yeah, anytime you can run the ball and control the clock, because I'm not a mathematician, but I'm thinking the odds are a lot better in your favor of them not scoring if they don't have the ball. Yeah, that's right. And so if we can control the football and continue to get to where we throw our play action, our pass protection wasn't bad the other night. It wasn't as perfect as we'd like it to be, but it wasn't bad. So if we'll do a good job of reading what we got to read on play action, keep guys honest with our play action, and then, like I say, throw the quick game off the edge and run the football, then you control the clock and you make those other guys not have the football. And like I say, we're going to face a lot of explosive offenses. There's a lot of skilled kids out there and a lot of good offensive schemes out there that put you in a bind. And, we're going to have to keep it out of their hands a lot of times.
Onus then not just on the defense. I mean, the best defense is an offense that plays keep away.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think that's how they've been in the past. When they've been successful, they've ran the football and kept it away from people. And so we've got to continue to improve on doing that. And then, like I say, once you add off of that play action, because Riley's doing a good job with throwing the football and reading what he's got to read. And so then you can still be dangerous and be an eye football team, if you can really work the play action.
North Mesquite coming up this week. Now, they were off They
had
played.
They had last week off, and so of course that gives them 2 weeks to prepare for you. And now with Huddle nowadays, they can normally get pretty much any film they want, so it's not like they have to wait till we trade film to get some film on us. So they probably they're going to be well prepared. Coach Robson over there is going to have them ready. They've got skilled kids. Running back's good. The front seven defensively solid, but their secondary is very good. Probably one of the best secondaries that we faced so far. So they're going to run the football. They're going to cover the pass, but they're going to also be involved in the run game.
And what have they done so far?
They're 1-3, just like we were before last week. And so let's see. They lost to Garland Lakeview Centennial. They lost to Rowlett. They beat Arlington Sam Houston.
Lost to South Garland.
Lost to South Garland, that's right. So, they've been competitive, been in games. I think Rowlett, I can't remember the exact score on Rowlett. That might have been their worst defeat. But, they're competitive. Really, we're kind of mirror images looking at each other on film and watching the guys. And they try to run the football and control the football. They throw it enough to keep you honest. I think 6 is their go-to guy at receiver. But, they're really going to run the football and try to keep the ball away from you. So it's going to be a battle. Whoever wins the game is still probably controlling their own destiny towards a chance at the playoffs. Whoever loses the game is going to have to rely on other folks,
right.
And you don't want to get in that position.
No, you really don't, do you?
No, that's always a philosophy, is you want to control your own destiny as long as you can.
How are your seniors doing right now?
I think they're doing pretty good. Looking at them on Saturday and visiting with them, and because really I'm usually pretty honest with them and where we are and what we got to do and things like that. I'm really proud of them holding it together, and that's what I told them Saturday. You're the guys that'll hold it together. You're the guys that'll help us get this ticket coming up next Friday night. And so, I'm proud of the senior leadership so far. We've addressed the issues that I feel like we have, and whether it be seniors or a whole football team, we've addressed that. But, they show up every day. When you look on Saturdays after getting beat like that and they're still all showing up and all there, that's just a tribute to them, to their parents, of the good job they've done raising them. Because that's all you can do is show up next day and, buckle your old pants up and pull them up and go again and try to improve on what you messed up on.
And they owe it to themselves to try to make this senior year.
Yeah, it can be fun. I mean, they can still go to the playoffs. They can still win some football games. Once you get in the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to be hot at the right time and that kind of thing. And, losing that game the other night, it'll probably come down to week 10, Rockwall Heath, playing for something. That's the first step they want to do, is they want their whole 10 games to mean something. So to do that, they've got to continue to show up. They've got to, win this Friday night and then worry about winning the next Friday night and doing things like that. So if they'll do that, because they're good kids, that's the thing. They're really good kids. They've done a lot of work. They've done a lot of extra work. Now you want them to go reap the rewards from it, and so that's what they'll have to do. Stay focused on that.
Now you're going into after this, you've got a bye week. How badly do you need that to get guys healed up? And that would actually come at a fairly good time.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We've looked at it, as far as just little injuries you have this time of year. Some of the major stuff that we've had occur. That's not going to help us much in that aspect, but also giving us another week, of just getting after it. That first week, you don't really worry about the next opponent, you worry about yourself, so it gives you a time right there, to go in. It's not bad the way North Mesquite had it the week before you start district, have you a bye week to fix all the things and really zero in on who you are and what you are, because a lot of times those first 4 games doesn't tell you exactly everything, and then you figure it out and you want to fix it after that 5th game. Halfway through the season, you probably know who you are. But so it'll give us a good time. It'll come at a good time, give the kids some rest and break, mental rest as much as physical rest.
How much fixing can you get done in the season? I mean, you have limited practice time.
Yeah, when you got that off period, that off week, it gives you a good extra week to where you go back to where it's kind of like a 2-a-day deal, where you figure out the fundamental stuff that you need to really improve on. You can't totally fix anything adjusting and turning something night and day difference, but you can improve some little things. And the big things you probably can't get those fixed, but there's some little things during that off week that you can get fixed to give you a chance to win the next game.
What's been your biggest frustration so far?
Oh Lord!
Not being able to get everything done at once like you probably want to.
Probably not getting all the pieces put together in a football game. You know, still continuing to have the inconsistency of 1 week playing great defense and not very good offense. The next week you play great defense and not. And then this week, you know, the special teams have been solid. Then we get the block kick at a key time in the football game, and you know, and the reason it may sound minute because it's just a field goal, but we just drove down to answer their first score. And so kids-wise, that's a pretty big momentum boost, and we can use all the momentum that, you know, early in games we need momentum just because of our mental toughness of not believing that we can win yet. You know, I don't know if you can't get over the hump of believing you can truly win until you start winning some games, and so back-to-back games is a big deal. And so those little things like that during a football game, it's hard for these kids to continue to build themselves up and know that they can continue to battle back and win games. And
you're on the road this week, and that always presents challenges too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you haven't had to do that much yet. So
no, that's right. So, but you know, I think our kids are mature enough; they'll handle it well, and that's where we really rely on the seniors to make sure we're focused on the bus and doing all that kind of stuff, and then understanding that, you know, it's just another football field, and you know, our fans hopefully will travel well and do that kind of thing to support the kids, so it won't be, you know, it's not going to be like a big Division I football game where you know, home crowd's got 60,000 and you got 12,000 over there. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good chance for us. It'll be a good challenge for us. But you know, other kids, I think we'll see through the week that they're going to go out and make sure we get a ticket this week.
And North Mesquite is predominantly a running football team right now, right?
That's right. That's right. Now they may come out Friday night and throw it 75 times, you know, but yeah, predominantly they're run oriented and they do a good job at it. Their O-line, you know, they're not huge. I think number 70, I believe, is the best one, you know, in our mind. It's got good size and stuff, but they at least get after you from snap to whistle, and so that's, you know, that's always a challenge when you got an O-line that'll do that.
And there's some urgency this week again now. That last week's loss creates some urgency this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, anytime in district you start getting losses, it creates a big-time urgency, and the more losses you get, the more urgent you become. But the good news at this point is we still control our own destiny. The kids can go out and fix anything this week they need to fix and be prepared as they can be to play football on Friday night when it kicks off.
Feel good then. Riley Poster's your quarterback for the rest of the year now, isn't he?
Yeah, that's, you know, that's good. You know, you know what Riley's strengths are, and you know the things that he can't do. So when you go through your play selection and calling plays and doing what you do, you know, you just got to tailor it to that, you know, just like we do to our line, to our receivers, to our running backs. And so, you know, that'll help Raleigh. With Jordan going out to receivers, it'll give another athlete out there at receiver. You know, you never can have enough of those guys because they get bunged up pretty good. You know, through a football game, getting hit and thrown around, and you know, because none of them are really big guys, and so you know, there's going to be injuries out there. So, you know, we'll do that defensively. You know, like I say, we'll just have to zero in on, you know, the fundamentals that we didn't do last week, reading our key and getting caught up in all the misdirection. And just focus on our key, and then we'll continue to tackle. We didn't, you know, our tackling's improved tremendously, and of course we tackle every day, so that's going to continue to improve. But just reading your key and doing what because if you do what your coach do and read the key the coach tells you to read and all that, and a team just beats you, you can live with that. You know, it's when you go out there and you work all week on something and I don't read my key or I don't do what I was coached to do during that time. That's the frustrating part. So these kids, they'll do what we ask them to do, and they'll battle because they're good kids and they want to win football games.
Good luck. That next ball game is coming up Friday night at North Mesquite's Mesquite Memorial Stadium in Mesquite. 7:30 kickoff. The Red Raiders in district game number 2 heading into a bye week. They need a win, and they really need your support. So I hope to see you at the stadium. For Coach Piske and the Red Raiders, thanks for joining us.